So one of the big buzzwords within financial planning, especially when it comes around business development, is understanding your niche and picking a niche within financial planning. What do you think of that?
I agree with it in many respects, and then some I don't. I don't think we have a niche as such at 313. I think we want to be, we want to be big enough so that we can't really niche down on anything. However, I think by accident, we've probably niched in on something that we call in the Northeast the grafter market.
Right.
Which is, your lads who work on the roads and the building sites, and it's mainly lads, isn't it? Let's be honest. Occasionally women, but mostly lads. Grafters, and those guys, they earn good money, but they don't get a workplace pension because they're all self-employed. They don't get sick pay, and yet they're in, occupations where it's quite easy to get injured, and then they've, got no income. And do you know what? If I hadn't stumbled into this nonsense, I probably would be on the scaffolding with them. So I love working with them because they're just like me mates. I would go for a drink at the pub with them. They're just like the lads I grew up with. So yeah, when it comes to, I never understand why financial planners all chase around the same types of client. Yes, I might not make as much initial advice fees off working with one of them as I would working with one, corporate executive, for example. But that one corporate executive would probably constantly have me proving my value to him, constantly questioning, and certainly wouldn't be as forthcoming with referrals, generally speaking. Whereas this one grafter thinks we're geniuses, takes all the advice that we have on board, actions it, and then tells 10 of his friends about it too.
So a model that absolutely works. And going out and business developing as well, when you talk about the grafter market, are there any sort of particular types of introducers you're working with at the moment that aren't the traditional type that you would find within financial planning?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, a lot of the grafter market comes from our mortgage advice team. They're buying houses, and so they ultimately get referred across to us because they're self-employed and haven't got a mortgage, haven't got a pension, sorry. But yeah, in terms of other introducers, I see a lot of success with a personal trainer that I work with because they're sitting in that marketplace where they've got people who, let's be honest, if you can afford a personal trainer, you're not on the bones of your arse. They're not cheap, but they are worthwhile. So they're dealing with people and they're getting to know them, and they've got an hour's slot to fill every time they see them. So they end up talking, and I've done a good job for the personal trainer that I work with for his own stuff. And he got really excited about it, and he started telling all of his clients about it, like, who's your financial advisor? Because mine's done this and mine's done that. And of course, most of them turn around and say they haven't got one. And what does a financial advisor actually do? There's another guy who runs a really successful barbershop in Newcastle who kind of gets all the young influencer types in. He's really excited about what we do and has told quite a lot of people whilst he's cutting their hair, giving them the latest skin fade, that my financial advisor's done this for me, who's yours, because what you're doing on Instagram, you must be raking it in from your, your market and stuff. So yeah, I think outside the box when it comes to who your introducers are. Solicitors is a funny one. I've always struggled with solicitors. I've always found law firms to be a bit take. They'll happily take plenty of referrals from you. And yes, they're in a fantastic position to refer back when they're doing wills and powers of attorney and estates. Very few of them ever have. I think there's an awful lot of focus put on IFAs and financial planners to target solicitors. I've had far more success with PTs and barbers.